Yeah, I guess, do you want to start off with like a bit of an introduction about yourself?
Yeah. So I am currently a college student. So I'm a college senior right now. So in my fourth year, I'm studying marketing with a concentration in business analytics. So that's just like, I guess, my school life. But
Yeah.
other than that, I'm from the States. I live in New Jersey. So it's really nice. I like live an hour away from New York. So New York is like a big part of my life, I
Yeah.
would say. On top of that, I have my own podcast, which is like one of the passions, and my own YouTube channel. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Cool, cool. Yeah, it's good. You covered kind of a bit of everything. How did you decide on where you wanted to go to college?
Oh my God, I feel like it's such a funny story because
Yeah.
so when when I first wanted to go to college, I really wanted to do nutrition and
Okay.
study that because I love food and I love like
Mm.
health. So I was like, oh my God, like let me start studying for that. Like I would love to learn more about it and make that my major. But then I just kind of felt like I don't know. I just didn't want to study it. It was kind of more of like something that I liked doing more than something that I wanted to study. So then when I went to school, like, and I applied to all my schools, I applied to all science programs, all nutrition programs,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't know what to do now because I need to like. I suddenly chose to do business, so I was like, okay, last minute, let me switch things up, change things up,
Mm.
and then I ended up going to my university. It's called Rutgers University. It's in New Jersey, so it's local, but it's really nice, and I have the opportunity to. It's really like a wide variety of whatever I want to do, and that's how I ended up choosing it. And if I'm being honest, I that was like my last option of colleges, and I ended up having to go to that one,
Yeah.
but I ended up really loving it.
Did you move out of home, or are you still living
I
like with your family?
Yeah. So while I was at school, I lived at school for like the first two
Yeah.
years, but because of Corona and everything, I moved back home. Yeah, but
Right.
it's been nice.
How did you find, was it like living in dorms? Like how did you find it?
So I lived in an apartment. It
Oh,
was really
okay.
nice. Yeah. So I lived with one other person. It was really nice to have my own space, and class was like a good walking distance away, so it was super convenient and
How did
everything.
you find the jump from like high school to college? Like was it really different, or did you find that it was just kind of
Hmm.
the natural progression?
Yeah. Oh my God. I feel like college is such a different atmosphere than
Yeah.
like high school because like you're like meeting so many different people and you're like very independent, like doing everything by your own. Like you go from like being at home and like your parents are
Yeah.
helping you out with so many things, and then you like go to school, and then it's like, okay, I need to like make new friends that like I don't know anyone. I have to like figure out food and like learn how to do everything. So I feel like the first 2 months of college, like I didn't like it. I was like
Mm.
I was like, what am I doing? Like, and I feel like in the beginning of college, also, you don't have like your like set friend group or like people that you
Yeah.
like know and stuff. So it took me some time, I feel like, to adjust. In terms of classes, I feel like freshman year classes are very, at least university here, it's very generic. So it wasn't too bad. I feel like it starts to get a little bit more difficult once it starts to get later in your years. But yeah, I feel like that
Okay.
part was the hard part. Yeah.
Cool. And so, I mean, I guess it changes, but what's your schedule like? Do you have classes every day or?
So Corona, I feel like made it so different
Yeah.
because so I always had classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and college is like the time is like whenever. So then now because of Corona,
Yeah.
everything is pre-recorded. So I will like take classes like when I feel like it. So I will like pile everything to like 1 or 2 days and just like do all my classes then. Or sometimes I don't really do the lecture, but I'll do the work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how I have it. So I have a lot of free time, which is really nice because I can like work on like side passions and do things that I really love doing.
Yeah, for sure. How have you found making friends? Like, have you joined any clubs and that kind of thing?
At school, I'm in like two organizations. One is like Women in Business, which is really cool. Like
Yeah.
everyone's very empowering, like empowering each other to, do big things, and that's something that I really like. And then our school has Greek life. Do you know anything about Greek life?
It's like sororities and like
Yeah.
fraternities.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm in like a professional fraternity, so it's like boys and
Okay.
girls. It's not a social one, but I guess like you still make friends out of it, obviously. But
Yeah.
it's like a good balance. I really, really like it. Mhm.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. Kind of like get your networking in, like
Yeah.
while you're there.
And I love meeting new people all the
Yeah,
time. So
yeah.
Greek life, I feel like every semester, like constantly meeting new people, so I really, really like it.
True, true. So, yeah, you talked about kind of living near New York. So, do you have any
Mhm.
like favorite spots in New York that you like to go to or you recommend?
Yeah. So it's so funny. Whenever I go to New York, I never go to like Times Square, except for when it's like
Yeah,
the holidays, like Christmas time. Then I'll go there. But the Lower East Side, which is like the downtown Manhattan, and like Greenwich Village and Soho are like my favorite parts of New York. I just feel like there's so much history and so much architecture that's like still very there. And I
yeah.
just think the vibe is so different there. I feel like there's a lot more like New Yorkers there, and you really, really get the vibe while you're down there. Also, the food in New York is so
Mhm.
good. It's so good. I was actually in New York like 2 or 3 weeks ago with one of my
Yeah,
friends.
I think I saw your vlog about it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We ate so much good food.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of those cities where you can just walk around and it's just interesting. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like we didn't have a plan. We just like went because we just wanted some change for a little because we were at
yeah,
home all the time. It was a very safe trip, but while we were there, it was just like we literally just walked around and ate food, but it was good.
I kind of want to talk about like food and like diet for a second. Because I
Mhm,
don't know if you know, but I've basically been like vegan or like plant-based for I think almost 5 years now.
mhm.
But I don't like to tell people that I'm vegan because I feel like they instantly like judge you. But yeah, I don't know. Like, wait,
Yeah,
would you say that you're vegan or like vegetarian? Like, how would
yeah.
you define your diet?
So I'm vegetarian, but I really don't eat dairy. There's
Yeah.
like very minor occasions where I will eat dairy, I would say. Like if I'm like traveling and I really just want to experience things, then I will. But majority of the time, I would say I'm vegetarian. But I totally feel you on that. Even sometimes
Yeah.
when I say I'm vegetarian, like people are like, "Oh, you don't eat meat,"
Yeah.
and then I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I just can't." I used to actually eat meat for like while I was growing up,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I stopped, I think, like 5 or 6 years ago eating
Okay, cool. Was it just
meat.
like a personal decision? Like, is your family still eat meat and stuff?
So, I went vegan, like well, vegetarian.
Oh, yeah.
I went vegetarian, like, 5 or 6 years ago because I saw a documentary, I think it was called
Yeah,
14
yeah.
Knives, and ever since I saw that, I was just like, I can't, like, I can't eat meat again. So I went vegan over vegetarian. I
Yeah,
went
just keeps
vegetarian. I was vegan for a bit, but I just
Oh, you
found it
were?
yeah, I was actually. So for the first few years after I watched the documentary, I
Oh,
was vegan.
okay. Yeah.
I did see it like affect my mental health the slightest bit. So
Mm.
then I kind of transitioned to being a little bit more open and vegetarian. That I get really afraid about talking with people when I like say I was vegan and then I'm not anymore. Yeah, so after seeing that, I was like, I can't eat meat anymore. I just couldn't see it as food. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about
I
you? Like,
think
what would you go
yeah,
vegan?
it's funny. I feel like once you kind of educate yourself, you just it's like, you know how they say like ignorance is bliss? Like
Yeah,
some people they just enjoy it, but I just like I can't. I just can't do it.
I know. And the other thing is there's so much like there's so many benefits to it because like there's environmental
Yeah.
impacts to it, your health, your mental health. I feel like I completely changed once I started stopped eating meat in terms of like just me as a person. It like transformed me, I feel like.
Yeah, I think people see it as very extreme, but I think even if you just do like meat-free Monday or you know like one day without meat, like that's better than doing nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my family is like vegetarian, so it was very easy
Oh,
for me.
okay.
Yeah. At home it's very easy because my mom has never eaten meat in her life
Oh,
before.
okay.
My dad actually went vegetarian like 2, 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, I think in a because my family still like just, you know, eats meat and everything. But I feel like in a way it's good because it's made me more like aware of my own food. Like I have to cook for myself and everything like that.
yeah,
So you kind of
it's fun
anyways.
though. I think you can get creative with like recipes and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, true. I feel like because your Instagram is pretty much just food. Is it like
Yeah.
a food blog basically?
So it's so funny how I started it off as a food blog. So when I
Yeah.
went vegan, a long while back, I started it back in like 2014. I started off as a food blog and I did it so secretly. I was like, I'm not gonna tell anyone about this
Yeah.
Instagram. I just started posting pictures of like what I was eating just for fun. Yeah, it's just a food blog, and it's continued ever since then. I kind of transition it a little bit more into like a lifestyle thing, but I love food, so I love sharing about it.
Right. Cool, cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess your YouTube channel is pretty small, but like you do have quite a big following on Instagram. Have you done any collabs or do you ever reach out to brands and, try to do like partnerships or anything
I
like that?
Yeah, so I have done a couple in the past, a few partnerships. So one thing, when I was actually very adamant about it when I was in high school,
Yeah.
but when I joined college, I actually took a break from it for a little bit, and I recently, like last year or so, started to find my passion again and started to get back on Instagram again. So I've had the opportunity to like get cool collabs like with like cold brew companies. I love coffee, so
Yeah. Yeah.
really excited about that. Um, but I right now I feel like my priority hasn't been focusing on brands, I think. I'm really just focusing on just spreading a positive message, putting like, people of color on the map more. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, we love to see representation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess also you have your podcast. So yeah, do you want to talk a bit more like what's it all about,
Yeah.
that kind of
So,
thing?
I started I feel like every story I have is so funny, but I started my podcast back in February. So I've always wanted to start when I think I had the idea like last year or so, but I never really had the motivation to like actually do it or just never
Yeah.
had that idea. But then one weekend while I was at university, I just like it was just like a Sunday. I didn't have anything to do, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start a podcast. So
Yeah.
I bought a mic. I used GarageBand, like, and I did all the research all in one day. Thought of
Yeah.
a topic. Thought of the cover. Like the cover was a lot different than it is right now. My story behind it is like I really just want to motivate others to have that mindset to do anything they set their mind to,
Yeah.
and never feel like they can't. I really just want to have like real life conversations. I felt like I was having so many interesting conversations with like friends and family members, and I was like, you know what? Let me just put it on like record, and it's been really really great. It's definitely growing very slowly, but I really feel like I've impacted the people around me, which means so much to me. I even had the opportunity to go onto my like school's newspaper, which is cool. So
Yeah.
like the little wins really makes me so happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think like a lot of people can benefit from like putting themselves out there on the internet. Like as weird as it sounds, but you can connect with like so many people.
Exactly what
Yeah.
we're doing right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You have quite a few episodes actually.
Mhm.
Like I listened to the first few and you did one about studying abroad. So yeah,
Mhm.
I kind of want to ask you about that. So I guess first of all, like why did you choose London?
So I studied abroad last year in spring in London. Best 4 to 5 months of my
Yeah.
life. It was amazing. I've always loved traveling. I've always loved change and experiencing new things. I chose London because I feel like it didn't have that language barrier, so I had a
Mm,
little bit more comfort while I was there,
yeah.
I would say. The culture is definitely a lot different than it is here, but that language barrier made it a little bit more comfortable. And then my university only had two choices of where we could go, and I just liked
Oh,
the London
okay.
option more.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm so happy with it. I made like lifelong friends. They like live in Canada and other states. Friend from Spain that I'm still friends with. So it was a crazy experience. I traveled to a different country every weekend.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. So yeah, what were like the differences that you noticed? Was there
Mhm.
anything that shocked you or
They definitely have different lingo and like
Yeah, yeah.
slang terms. So sometimes if I had conversations with people in class and stuff, I was just
Yeah.
like, wait, what did you say again? Because
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. After I started to like understand things, like
Yeah, yeah.
here they don't say cheers whenever they say thank you, but there they
Mm,
do. So I had to like
yeah.
understand that. There's a few other things. Just think how they live is so much differently than how they live here, I feel like.
Cool, cool. So yeah, I mean, you talked about traveling. Like, what were some of the coolest places or things that stick out to you?
My favorite trip that I went to was in Italy. We went to this place called Cinque Terre. I don't know if have you heard of that place before?
Yeah, yeah. So I did like an exchange in Italy. So
Oh, did you?
I lived there for like 10 months. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You have to tell me about that too. That
Yeah.
sounds so exciting.
Yeah.
That was my favorite trip because we stayed in Genoa and then we took like an hour train ride to go to Cinque Terre, but we mainly took the trip to go to Genoa. But it was so nice because where we stayed, it was very like local and everyone around us was very local. We went to the same pizza place every single
Yeah.
night while we were there.
Oh, that's so cool, yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. Everyone was just so kind there, I think too. Like it was a very like family feel.
Yeah.
Even though we were tourists, we felt like it was just like very. It was also beautiful. Cinque Terre was absolutely stunning.
Yeah, so I guess you kind of have a lot going on, so I was wondering, do you have any tips for, like, time management or any
Hmm.
apps or things that you use that help you?
So for like time management, I would say I'm a huge time blocker. So I will like plan my week at the beginning of the week, probably like on a Sunday or something like that, and I will like put like different times in the week. I use Google Calendar. That's like my
Yeah.
best friend, I would say. I'm always on Google Calendar. It's so helpful because I'll just like put homework and like on a certain day or like filming on a different day, and then allows me to get the job done without feeling so stressed. Because I remember like a couple years ago, if I had so many things on my plate, I would just get so overwhelmed because I would see this long list and I didn't know when I was going to do it and I didn't
Yeah.
know how long it would take. But when I time block, I like know when I'm going to do it. So like if I have something and I know I'm going to do it on a Thursday, I don't worry about it until Thursday. So yeah,
Okay.
time blocking, I would say for me has helped me a lot, and I would recommend that to anyone. It's so great. It helps me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I started using, like, a calendar maybe, like, a year ago, and it really changed the
Mhm.
game.
It does, and
Yeah.
it's so much fun. I like make my own like pretty and like different colors and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Cool, cool. So yeah, I guess are you about to graduate, like, next year, or is it this year?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
graduating in
next year.
spring actually, which is crazy. The
Yeah.
years right now, the months I feel like are just flying by.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. I
So,
mean, yeah, I guess do you have any plans? Like, do you know do you think
mhm.
you'll stay where you are or move to New York? I don't know.
Yeah, I really want to move to New York or Boston. That is like
Yeah.
my dream. I feel like I'm such an independent person, so I really want to be able to just like move out, live the life of just trying to, I guess, create my dream life type of thing and
Yeah.
starting somewhere. So that's kind of what I really want to do. I really want to start off with like finding a job in like a cool startup company where I can like work on like digital marketing and PR. But then
Yeah.
on the side, I really want to work on my like hustle. Yeah, on
Cool,
there.
cool. Sounds good. Thanks so much for like your time and sharing.
Of course. Thanks for having me on.
No worries. I'll
Yeah.
leave your links down below so people can follow you,
Yay.
subscribe, and check out your podcast.
Yeah.
Enjoy your evening, and
Thank
yeah,
you.
see you soon. Bye.